we're back with episode 8 of ICOPOD. I am Bob Collins Jr. With me, as always, is Austin Skinner.
Your favorite podcaster and mine, me.
So you only like yourself, then?
Yeah, I don't like you, for sure.
All right.
I think you bring our show down, and we're soon going to be unliked on Facebook because of you.
Is that a shoot?
Yeah.
Wow.
We're live, pal.
Well, little do you know, I actually message every single one of the followers, and I just insult them.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, Tim, you fucking suck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm going back through and like paying everybody to stay on the page and like, please don't unlike us. Here's $10. Fuck Bob. But like, stick around for me.
It's good cop, bad cop.
Yeah.
I'm the bad cop.
Right.
It's like whoa.
Yeah.
We'll pay you to listen.
So naturally, they like me better.
Well, that seems to be the general consensus. Yeah, people have been messaging me and they're like, Bob, you sound like pretty much like a tool bag. How do you like Lex Luger and Crush and stuff? And they go to Austin. And they're like, yo, man, you're awesome.
Yeah, it's time for Bob to hang up the boots.
Yeah, my boots have 8 episodes.
Right.
Or 7.
Right.
I guess this is 8. So.
Yeah.
So thanks a lot. So I mean, I guess you can send us who you really do like, whether it be you know what? I'm afraid to even do that. Don't know if that's a good idea.
You know the answer already.
Don't know if that's a good idea.
You know the answer.
But you can send comments, feedback, your thoughts on the programming at this time in '93 for the World Wrestling Federation to either the ICOPOD Facebook page or to icopodcast@gmail.com. And then when we get it, we can share it on the air. Preferably, I think I would prefer if you sent an email just so I could organize it better than compared to ICOPOD Facebook page, but either way is cool with me.
What did you think of our new Facebook page cover?
I saw that when you crossed off Bartlett.
Fuck him.
I laughed.
I also...
And you did ICOPOD on the microphone.
Yeah.
I saw that.
There you go.
Can't wait for that lawsuit.
Thanks.
Boy,
Thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah. Closing up shop.
Yeah.
Can't afford to pay that one.
Episode 8, and that is it.
Yeah. So we're getting closer and closer to WrestleMania IX. Still, I've got to say, I'm probably looking forward to it. Mega Maniacs Money Incorporated seems to be the main draw here. Mm-hmm. Bret Hart kind of taking a back seat. I think we're both pretty much indifferent about that. The whole thing there. Yep. Luger and Perfect was promoted as at one point co-main event. Has had very little promotion attached to it.
Pretty much none.
Yeah, so you wouldn't even know that's a thing. And then Doink Crush, which started off the year pretty strong with angle development. You maybe wouldn't even know they're fighting each other either. Maybe it was over with, even though there has been some promotion on TV recently.
Yeah, and you know what? After last week's promo on the beach, I just thought about this now. How funny would it be to see Doink and Crush fighting on the beach and then like fighting into the water and just having a ridiculous outside match? Like, I would like to see that.
I'm trying to picture a clown.
That's why.
Crawling away.
Yeah. Or like
Crush is just dragging him.
Yeah. He's like trying to drown him in the water and he's like splashing him in the eyes. And how great would that have been?
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. That would have been awesome.
I would feel bad for Doink.
Well, his paint would come off and you'd see who he was.
Oh, yeah.
The mysterious clown would be no more. Yeah. That's the end of Doink. You write him off. You know? Oh, yeah. There you go.
Yeah. How to kill a clown? Just put him in water.
Yeah, take him to the beach, beat his ass.
Sounds like you like Crush. Okay.
No.
Right. Okay. So before we get into the actual Raw, we got some news, some little tidbits, some house show stuff here. So it looks like current WCW World Champion Vader has signed a new deal with WCW, and he'll be there for 4 years. This is relevant because Kurt Hennig, also known as Mr. Perfect, had tried to recruit Vader to fill the monster heel void in the WWF.
What? The monster heel void?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
That's what... I feel like they're overloaded on the heel side.
Especially monster heels.
With
you got Yokozuna, Bam Bam Bigelow.
Yeah.
Who else is a big guy that they've been kind of pushing?
That's a heel?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Luger. Gonzalez, that's who I was thinking. Yeah. How could you forget about
So,
Gonzalez?
like, not only are they, heels, but they're, like, bigger guys. Vader would have got lost in the shuffle as a WCW crossover guy, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know when...
Bad timing for that.
Yeah, I don't know when Hennig may have been trying to recruit him.
That's so funny.
Maybe, like, late 92, but it was reported
by this time.
Yeah, shortly, like before March 8th. I think like the March 6th.
Yeah, what was Mr. Perfect watching? Oh, yeah, we're going to use some heels, brother. You want to come in? What? That's all you got is heels.
Yeah, but you got to think, Vader is... In 93, Vader's one of my favorite wrestlers.
And top of the cards at that time.
Yeah.
Like, he's a main attraction.
Yeah, so I kind of understand.
I mean, yeah, but at the same time, the direction the WWF is going, like I just said, kind of like with Flair, I think he gets lost in the shuffle. There's really no spot for him right now, I think.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, at this point, he's served better in WCW.
Absolutely.
But Hennig wasn't done with just trying to recruit Vader. No. He was also trying to recruit Too Cold Scorpio to fill the void on the babyface side of things for WWF. And this I can maybe understand a little bit.
Totally. Yeah, totally. I think that would have been really nice to get him in there and squeeze him in there somewhere. That would have been... Now imagine Too Cold Scorpio and Shawn Michaels over the IC belt at this time.
Well, yeah, I mean, Scorpio's offense
Perfect for that.
Drastically different, I would say, compared to anyone
Absolutely.
in the WWF.
Absolutely.
So if you have Scorpio doing, let's say, I don't know, a 450 splash or a corkscrew moonsault or a corkscrew splash or anything of that nature, the WWF fans, I don't think there's anybody to this point that had ever seen that.
No, and they'd be jumping all over it. And you got to think, Too Cold Scorpio isn't necessarily a small guy. Like,
right.
He's a pretty good-sized guy. So like I said, if you throw him in there with Shawn Michaels for the IC belt, say WrestleMania, if he were to sign right now as like dynamite upstart, like we're pushing this kid to the moon, I think that would have been awesome. Would have been kick-ass.
I mean, what about Scorpio and Brett? Maybe not for the title, but just... I mean, come on, look what Brett did with Fatu, for Christ's sakes.
Well, right. But do you think... I don't know how their styles would have been together. Whereas Shawn and Scorpio are a little bit similar. So I feel like they would kind of mesh pretty... Well, it's Bret Hart. He meshes with anybody.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would probably be a pretty good match. I'd be more interested in the Shawn Scorpio, though.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Moving on from that, on March 8th, this was, I believe, during a WWF Superstars taping, there were a few tryouts. Killer Carl Wallace, Todd Champion, The Night Stalker, and Mike Shaw were all given tryouts in Charleston, South Carolina. Do you have any idea? I know you're already looking at my notes, but do you have any idea as to who these guys are?
I feel like I know the name Night Stalker.
Okay.
Out of all of those, that's about all I got.
That's the only one?
Yeah.
Okay. So, wow. Let me try that again. Killer Carl Wallace is Carl Ouellette, who would be known in future episodes here as Quebecer Pierre. Oh, my God. If you're going to have that reaction about the Quebecers, I'm going to lose my shit. Oh, God. Todd Champion, who I believe is Todd Champion. I don't really know. Night Stalker would be going on to be known as Adam Bomb.
Okay, so I knew who that was.
And Mike Shaw would be known as Bastion Booger.
Fucking A. No. Don't do this to me.
Yeah.
Don't do this.
I believe 3 out of the 4 actually ended up getting jobs.
Really?
Yes. So
Wow.
Carl Ouellette obviously would get a job later in the year.
Yep.
Adam Bomb, or Night Stalker here, I believe Adam Bomb shows up shortly after WrestleMania 9. So we'll be seeing him soon.
I thought it wasn't until 94.
No, yeah, he was in 93.
Wow.
And then Mike Shaw got a job. Most of people, including myself and you, and probably a lot of people listening here, know him as Bastion Booger for the most part.
Yeah.
But he does make an appearance prior to being Bastion Booger. He does try out a gimmick. And I'm not going to reveal who that is to you yet, because I want to see your true reaction to that. So.
Oh, no.
Let me just tell you, it's probably Russell crap material there.
Perfect.
So.
Perfect.
Hey, you remember Tenryu?
Yes.
Yeah, well, he was supposed to wrestle at WrestleMania 9. They had a press conference about it. It was a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he has apparently turned that down.
What?
Yeah, because War, his company, has a tour from April 2nd through the 7th. Obviously, WrestleMania is on April 4th. So he won't be able to make the show, which blows my mind of how they can promote him. And then, oh, wait, got a tour.
Well, not only that, you got to think on the Tenryu side of things. Because I don't know whether you know or not, but at this point, Bob, WAR is still a relatively small company in Japan. It is one of the more notable ones because, kind of like the American scene now, there's a ton of indie stuff in Japan. And they were just one of them. But they were one of the more notable ones at this time. And for him to give up that exposure for him and his company at WrestleMania, I'm blown away by that. Like, why would you not want to be there to not only carry the flagship for Japan, but for Wrestling and Romance, Wrestling Association R, War, you know?
Maybe this is loyalty.
And that's a very common thing with Japanese wrestlers, that they are loyal sometimes to a fault, and maybe this was for Tenryu, maybe this is the case.
I mean, I don't even know what he really could have done at WrestleMania 9. It had to have been just a random match.
I'm sure, yeah, if not like maybe a Battle Royal or even a random singles match, but still, I think that would have been huge. And for WAR to score a deal with WWF still kind of blows my mind because, again, they're a relatively small promotion comparatively speaking.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, I don't know much about Japanese wrestling, but you're saying it's wrestling and romance, so is it more entertainment based?
Absolutely.
So this would maybe explain why WCW and New Japan are together. So maybe WWF saw potential in the war part.
Right. And I think that is kind of where the connection is made. I want to say, now, didn't Undertaker and them guys go over to Japan at some point for a company?
I think that's next year.
I don't know if it was, I don't think it's War.
No.
But I think that is where the connection
is. Oh, it's SWS.
Oh, okay.
Is where they go.
Okay. But yeah, I think that's got to be the only connection. And I'm sure Tenryu must have known or had connections in the WWF, which kind of explains that. Because it's drastically different than the deal they have with Michinoku Pro in like 97 and stuff. Where they get some of their Japanese talent for the cruiserweights and stuff like that. But yeah, that blows my mind that he would give up on
that. It's expected that Razor Ramon versus Bob Backlund will be added to WrestleMania 9.
Damn it.
I don't know why. I mean, there's been no interaction between those guys either.
To get Bob on the show, I'm sure.
Or is it to get Razor on the show?
They're not doing nothing with Razor Ramon.
Since
he lost to Brett, he is gone. Like, done. We're done with you.
You would never have guessed he had just challenged for the belt.
I know.
Yeah. It seems like that's more of a way to get Razor on than Bob, I would have to think. Though I'm telling you, Bob did get himself over at the Rumble.
Well, I think just like you, and
it's WrestleMania, so
well, yeah, I think Bob was able to sell himself to the office with that showing at the Royal Rumble. That probably helped get him booked for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I do. The injury bug, though, has hit the WWF again. Ted DiBiase and Owen Hart. DiBiase has a herniated disc in his back and is off shows until WrestleMania. Obviously, wow. I don't know how much this really plays a factor into televised stuff because they would tape stuff, weeks in advance. So.
Right.
Meanwhile, Owen Hart, we thought he blew out his knee at Royal Rumble. No, he waited a few weeks because he blew out his knee in a TV match against Bam Bam Bigelow. So
I'm blaming it on Bam Bam.
Why? We don't even
his
know
gear.
How. Bam Bam's gear is why Owen Hart.
Absolutely. Owen's knee was probably like, fuck that. I ain't even getting near that.
If I come across anything cheap, I immediately pull out my ACL.
I'm done.
That's ridiculous. That probably is a good match.
You
know what? When if it comes up, before, I'll send it to you and check it out. We'll talk about it.
Great. I just sealed my dick on that one.
Our favorite wrestler, Brutus Beefcake, is being pushed as being a biotic man.
See the Terminator thing, like we talked about.
Yeah.
How good is that?
They're doing it. I guess they're going to be promoting that. And then Doink has been getting cheered heavily on the house shows, and it's visibly annoying to his opponent, Tito Santana.
Well, who are you cheering, Tito Santana or Doink?
I'm going Doink 100%.
Absolutely.
I'm just picturing Tito Santana.
Arriba!
Yeah. What the hell, guys? I'm the
good guy.
I'm the good guy. Yeah. What are you doing? He's an evil clown. So that seems
awesome.
Like just like the old school mentality.
That's awesome.
On syndication, the Superstars Wrestling Challenge, on the March 6th edition of Superstars, we actually heard from Jim Duggan. And he delivered an interview from his home And he said he's ashamed that he let everyone down, and he's sorry for letting everyone down. He let down his country, his family, friends,
his dad,
fans, dad, Vince McMahon,
right?
Bill Clinton, everybody. He let everybody down. He's ashamed of it. And he's sorry. See, I don't know if I like that we're hearing from him already.
And I don't like that he's saying sorry to everybody. Like, oh, sorry, guys.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing. Duggan, you won the match, and you got attacked from behind.
Yeah.
So what did you do? That got you ashamed.
Sorry I got beat up by surprise. I'm a loser.
I didn't see it coming.
Yeah. Got salt in my face. Sorry.
Yeah.
Like,
well, he rubbed the salt in his face, as you noted.
Yeah. Sorry I rubbed the salt in my face and made myself get beat up. I'm sorry.
Poor Duggan. It's announced on the same episode as Superstars that the Steiner brothers will be wrestling the Head Shrinkers at WrestleMania IX.
Duggan's probably home getting hit by the belt by his dad for losing. He's getting the
Damn
belt.
it, Jim.
I told you, you son of a bitch. Daddy, no.
This is taking a sharp right turn as to what we're talking about.
I love it.
What do you think about the Steiner brothers against the Head Shrinkers? WrestleMania 9.
That should be a damn good match.
Yeah, I mean, they have no storyline behind it, so it seems as to be a filler, but...
Yeah, just another way to get both teams on the card. Yeah. But I am okay with that filler match.
That sounds potential, dare I say it, potential here to be a show stealer.
Yeah, match of the night.
Yeah.
Especially what we just saw from Fatu and Bret Hart.
Right, yeah. And the Steiner brothers are a crazy good team.
Exactly.
They've definitely wrestled in NWA, WCW, so there is some kind of chemistry there probably already.
Oh, okay.
As well. So.
Yeah.
As noted in other episodes here, I do have a house show. Kind of see what we're going for the loop. It seemed like early in the month they were only running one group of guys, though. So I'll just run down the card and you can tell me, oh, hey, I checked that out, or, what the hell are they doing? Terry Taylor took on, this is from Louisville, Kentucky, by the way, on March 6th, the card that I'm referencing here.
Okay.
Credits a history of WWE.com. I should start getting charged. I should charge people
for promotion.
For promotions, yeah. Damn it. That's why I would fail in radio ads. Anyway, Terry Taylor, he took on Reno Riggins. Our favorite wrestler, Damian Demento, took on Jim Powers. Doink the Clown took on Tito Santana.
Arriba!
Tito probably upset about the reaction.
What do you mean?
Giant Gonzalez would take on Virgil in a singles match. Crush took on Skinner. Jerry Saggs battled one half of the tag team champions IRS. Mr. Perfect squared off against Papa Shango. And in the main event, the WWF World Champion, Bret Hart, defended against Bam Bam Bigelow.
Well, who's making the money there?
Well, I believe it'd be Gonzalez Virgil.
That's what I was going to say.
Were you?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. That was my guess.
Absolutely. I probably would have skipped that house show, and I'm surprised in Louisville that they went with that card. I would think they'd stick to more wrestling-based instead of entertainment-based.
I mean, I don't even know what's on here entertainment-wise, to be honest with you.
Well,
Bret Bigelow is the only attraction.
You're right, and then, they got the perfect Papa Shango, I would think, is a more entertainment-based match.
Well, I mean, if you're going entertainment based on just character driven.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, then that's exactly what they're doing here.
It's heavily, I would say, entertainment compared to wrestling, which again surprises me. Yeah. Especially for the Gardens,
Yeah, no, I mean there's nothing on here. Hart Bigelow is not strong enough to entice me.
It's for me to buy a ticket. No.
Can you imagine sitting through 3 hours of this?
No,
I don't.
I mean, maybe you want to see a couple of guys, but you don't want to see the match they're in. Which kind of sucks.
Yeah, Doink I'd want to see maybe.
Yeah, I'd want to see Mr. Perfect. I'd probably want to see Bret Hart. Giant Gonzalez would be cool to see in person. Like, holy shit, he's big.
But then you got, terrific Terry Taylor.
Yeah, but the matches, like, I'm not buying a ticket to that.
And it was, I know I noted it in one of the prior episodes that Terry Taylor had retired. Does he not know what retirement means? Because he's still wrestling.
Most wrestlers don't.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Yeah, most wrestlers don't.
Terry, when you retire, you don't wrestle anymore. Just throwing that out there, Terry.
He's a rooster, okay? He doesn't understand.
Still cracks me up. He doesn't know not to be a damn bird. Anyway, so that's all, No interest there?
Are you buying a ticket?
No, I would not.
Me neither.
All right, so we got all that stuff out of the way then. And then this week we have the March 8th edition of Raw, which is taped
Boo.
from the Manhattan Center in Manhattan, New York. What do we start off with, Austin?
Again, one of these pre-Raw promo videos. I don't like the placement here. Like we've went over, I get that it's supposed to entice and excite you, but if I'm a kid just turning Raw on, I might be missing this. Like I might not be sitting at the TV right at the perfect moment to catch this. With that said, this time it's with the Mega Maniacs standing in front of obviously green screened in iron wall. Like it looked like they were on the side of the Titanic. I didn't get that. Maybe, I don't know, it's the 90s, I guess. Hogan puts over the fact that they have accepted the challenge, and in 7 short days, Jimmy has proven that he is the ultimate Hulkamaniac. He got the contract signed for the match, and he also makes note of knowing all the strengths and weaknesses of Money Inc., which I thought is a great point. This is former manager, like, who would know them better than Jimmy Hart?
Okay, so it's funny that you like that because that drives me nuts. Only because in 1992, okay, so I'm gonna go on a little bit of a off-centered.
Please, yes.
So Jimmy Hart, starting in 92, was the manager of the Natural Disasters.
Okay.
Okay, and they failed to win the titles against Legion of Doom.
Right.
Mind you, Jimmy Hart at this point was a manager for about 4 different tag teams: Disasters, Nasty Boys, and so on and so on.
Right.
So Jimmy Hart kind of attaches his wagon to Money Incorporated. They're a new tag team in early 92.
Okay.
And they get a title shot against against Legion of Doom at a house show in like Denver, Colorado or something like that. And they win the belts. Money Incorporated. They beat Legion of Doom in a legitimate title change.
Wow.
And the Natural Disasters are pissed.
Yeah, because like that's our manager.
Yeah, Jimmy, like what are you doing?
Yeah.
You got to get us.
You led a different team to success.
Right.
Yeah.
So they I guess essentially turn babyface, and then they feud for a few months, and Jimmy's saying, "Oh, I know all your strengths and weaknesses."
Oh, so he's pulled that before.
So that's one time. So he's saying all these things like, "Oh yeah, we'll beat you." So Natural Disasters and Money Incorporated, they change. They switch the titles a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So then we go into the summer. Money Incorporated is the champions, or late fall, and Money Incorporated is the champions. Well, the Nasty Boys, they want a title shot.
Right.
They want to win the titles. And Jimmy Hart's saying, "Oh yeah, hey man, we'll get there. Yeah, whatever." Well, he's not going to ever let that happen because Money Incorporated is his team.
Mm-hmm.
So the Nasty Boys end up turning face, and then Jimmy Hart is always saying, "Well, there's nothing to worry about, Nasty Boys, or Money Incorporated about the Nasty Boys, because I know all the strengths and weaknesses of the Nasty Boys."
Oh my god!
It's a recurring theme of this same angle. So when he says it here, I'm like, dude, you've done this 4 times.
Oh, see, you just ruined it for me then.
I mean, obviously not 4, like 2 times, but like, come on.
So it's literally the same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
So, well, from your perspective of seeing it once.
Yeah, I was
you're
like,
sold
oh,
on
that's
it.
cool.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he's right.
Right. In the meantime, I've seen it 2 or 3 times.
Oh, see, that ruins it for me, though.
Well, I'm sorry to crush your dreams.
Yeah, that's all right. Speaking of crushing my dreams, Brutus says that he spent all week trying to figure out how to take the blinkers and mirrors of he and Hulk Hogan's motorcycles so that they can properly display the WWF Tag Team Championships while they ride.
Hang on a minute. It took him 7 days?
All week. Not only is that ridiculous, who needs safety, right? It's not like you just gotten injured in a freak accident or anything.
Right, at a parasailing. Who needs the freaking mirrors?
Yeah, who needs safety and like safety measures? You didn't just get hurt. For the stupidest reason that they're going to display the belts while they ride.
The tag titles, not like a world title.
It's the tactics, and then you got to think, what, bugs are going to be splattering off the belts. It's like they're shaking all around.
Well, Brutus is biotic, so he won't feel it.
So stupid. Brutus the Barber Beefcake sucks. He crushes my dreams of liking 1993 WWF.
So, this is something that we will agree on. I do not like Brutus the Barber Beefcake. I don't. I don't think I ever have. And him being in this role with Hogan, while the angle is pretty enjoyable and makes sense, I really wish it was not Beefcake involved in it.
Ugh. And
His promos are just so atrocious.
It's just, you can't buy into anything he says. You can't buy into his look. You don't think he's tough. Like, I don't get Beefcake's tough. I don't get that at all. He's basically Hogan's lackey, and he is his whole career, which, like, fine. But in a featured spot, holy shit.
Well, and the thing is, though, what's Beefcake's character? He's a hairdresser?
He's a barber.
A barber, essentially. Like
a
hairdresser.
Who goes to their barber and shit is like, oh, I wouldn't want to mess with him. He's a tough guy.
Don't give that guy a straight razor.
Randy's hair safari. Oh, don't mess with Randy. He'll take you down.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Speaking of confusing, Hogan sings at one point during his tirade in this promo. Then he throws it to live from New York. It's Monday Night Raw, so we get another SNL ripoff. Mm-hmm. And Brutus tries to say it along with Hulk, but doesn't like say it all the way. He like doesn't say the words right, so he doesn't audibly say it. He like just mouths it because he knows he doesn't know what to say.
Yeah, and then he's like looking at Hogan.
Yeah,
when he's doing that.
This is holy shit, man. This style of WWF doesn't work anymore. Even in '93, like if I'm a kid watching this, I'm like these guys aren't cool anymore.
Yeah, and the thing that's hilarious is that it's a taped segment on a taped show.
You would think it's better. It would be better than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I gotta say, I hate that they keep trying to rip off the SNL thing.
Well, that's got to be the second time in 4 weeks?
It's the second time. Like, do your own thing.
Was SNL even that popular in '90s?
Well, you got to think. There's a lot of people on in the early '90s. A lot of stars on SNL, yeah.
Because clearly, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm an SNL expert, but I think at least I know that late '80s SNL was pretty popular.
That's like the peak. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and then you have mid '90s, right?
Yeah, mid '90s. Well, with Sandler and
Farrell coming in.
Yep. Yeah.
So I don't know I really don't know if '93 SNL is that relevant.
Well, you got to think these are '80s guys. So you got Hogan.
So they might be behind the times.
Yeah. So they're behind the times on it. So they're still trying to rip off the popularity of '80s SNL, probably.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. Oof. Yeah, let's just get out of there. Do you have anything else about that promo, Bob?
No, I just noted the same thing with SNL style opening.
Well, to me, this promo, before we run away from it as fast as possible, it feels like this is something WCW would have had on in '95 with the Dungeon of Doom. Like, that's how corny this felt and like out of touch. Here placed.
Well, to be fair, I did enjoy Dungeon of Doom.
Oh, come on, Bob.
Sullivan, my son.
Come on.
Come on.
Get out of here.
There's some bad stuff I really enjoy from a guilty pleasure.
Oh, my God. I'm done. I can't believe you just said that. We're moving on. We are back in the arena to start off Raw with a hyped crowd, and the commentators are ready for action. Macho Man was in a really cool, like, black, silver, and white attire. And it looked like ring gear instead of his normal, like, Raw t-shirt or whatever, all bejeweled. It looked like ring gear, which I was like, oh, maybe he might be in action today.
I was going to say, maybe he'll get the hot tag.
Yeah. So I was like...
Beefcake will tag out and be like, Macho Man.
Yeah.
One can dream.
He lusts after the Macho Man.
Could you imagine... How much better would it be? Mega Powers against Money Incorporated.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Absolutely. Bartlett was back in his Reverend gear. So, hey, that beats the shitty Elvis act. I'm glad we didn't get that.
Right, so it's a tape show, so he did change.
He did change. Yeah, again, it's the same outfit he wore a couple times on Raw now, but we didn't get Elvis, so whatever. I'll go with it. Savage was wicked hyped here. And again, I've got to say, just like we kind of covered last episode, he's good for your brand all the way around. Anytime Macho Man's on your camera, it's a good thing for you, I think. Would you have... All right, so if you get Savage, right? You got him on your roster. And let's say he doesn't necessarily want to in-ring wrestle, let's say it's 2005, would you put him on commentary?
In 2005?
Yeah.
Macho Man Randy Savage.
Yeah, he doesn't want to wrestle in ring. You want to use him somehow. Would you put him
I
on
would
commentary?
hope he would not want to wrestle in 2005.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Would I put him on I think you like him more on commentary than I do.
I think he works as a commentator.
At least not right now. Maybe as he goes on, he becomes better.
Well, I'm sure he would, like, with more practice or whatever.
More time under his belt. But no, I don't think I would put him on commentary in 2005.
Would you have him on screen at all?
Yeah, I think there's a role for him. As much as I don't like authority figures in that angle, or that style of angle is pretty drawn out and stale, especially in 2018. I think there's a way that you can put him in something similar to that.
Really? You'd go with an authority angle for Macho Man?
Well, I mean, come on. The way I'm thinking about it is Savage has always been presented as a lunatic.
Right.
Okay, so if you want to say, I guess we're forced. We're going way ahead here from 93, but you use like 2005 for an example. So 1 week, let's say John Cena is champion in 2005, and Savage and him are buddy or whatever, and for some reason Savage just loses his mind because he's like 1 week he's pissed. He's
like
unhinged.
Like bipolar or whatever.
Yeah, so he's like, you know what, tonight, Cena, you're fighting 4 dudes. 4 singles matches. I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
Just because Cena might piss him off for some reason.
So maybe that craziness would help with the unpredictability.
Exactly,
of the show,
because you're tuning in and you literally won't know what the hell the guy's gonna do.
Yeah.
1 week Cena could have an easy match or something, and the next week Cena could passively make a joke about Savage's career or something, and Savage would be like, you know what, fuck you, man. That was great.
It's a gauntlet
Guess what?
match.
Tonight you're facing Great Khali, Big Vis, Batista and Edge, all in singles matches, and your first match is right now, and like Viscera just beats the shot out of him from behind.
I mean, I guess I don't know if I could buy into Savage as a that kind of role. But I think you'd be a fool not to have him on camera somewhere.
Well,
you would have to.
I'd rather him be like a manager then.
That would be interesting to kind of see how Savage would manage, because I think he'd probably be able to do a pretty damn good job, even in 2005. He's a
good talker.
Right, and with the outfits and stuff, like that all makes sense. I mean, by 2005, they're not really doing that anymore. But that Savage would definitely stand out in that case. So yeah, I could get behind that more so than an authority role, I think. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think I would say at least he certainly has about 4 years of worthwhile in-ring skill, though.
Yeah.
I mean, anything after 2000 for sure.
Oh, you're pushing it. I'd say 98.
There's a few good stuff. Here's the thing. Okay, so we're, again, going way off, but I don't care. So there's like a match in 99 where it's Savage and Gorgeous George against Ric Flair and Charles Robinson on Nitro.
Oh.
So, depending on how far along this ICOPOD goes, we could get to that episode in about 4.5 years. But I really enjoyed. It's a mixed tag match on Nitro.
Right.
I don't know if I know the date. If I say this right, I'm gonna lose my mind. But I think it's May 17th, 99, something like that.
Okay.
I really enjoyed the match.
Oh my god.
It's a good little thing.
Anything post 98 for me, I'm checked out.
Well,
like,
okay.
I don't care.
In 98, Savage is off TV from June onwards, so it's half a year of stuff.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And the time he's on, it's like Wolfpack stuff.
Yep, and he had a blown knee.
Right.
He blew out his knee in February or something that year,
right?
Or if not earlier. So no, I mean, I wouldn't even equate that into the situation here.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, it's definitely 97 is his last solid year of in-ring stuff, I think.
Yeah, and I would say probably mid 97 is the breaking point.
Yeah.
Because even October, something like Savage Page, that doesn't really hold up as a great match. So,
see, I don't know, because I still enjoy watching that back.
Really? Because I feel like I watched it fairly recently, and I did not. I don't think Paige does really much of anything in it.
I gotta disagree with you. I like that stuff.
All right. Well, we'll talk about an ICOPod in about
We'll
4.5 years.
Stay tuned, folks. It's right around the corner here. We'll be talking about that.
To be continued. I'm gonna call you one day, but hey, man, we gotta get through 30 episodes.
Yeah, these guys are pining for that stuff. We gotta get to that.
I'm getting so many emails about Halloween Havoc '97.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would have him on TV, but not. I don't think as a commentator.
That's fair. I can see the manager role. I like that.
I like how that was basically almost a 10-minute conversation.
Whatever.
Within a conversation.
Yeah, we're breaking walls here, Bob. This is the ICOPod.
You know, it's a good thing we've never said, hey, we're only thinking 93.
Well, you got to almost
That'd
encompass everything.
Yeah, that'd be way too hard anyway.
Right. Right.
Plus, it might be too stressful for us. I mean, I want to be like, oh, I just spoiled something.
I know. Yeah, that'd be pretty tough.
Yeah. But back onto the March 8th episode of Raw. Where are we at? I don't even know.
We are right by so we're back in the arena. Again, we were talking about Macho Man's gear. I don't know how we...
How the hell did we get to Halloween Havoc 97?
I don't know.
Wow.
Regardless, let's go into the first match here. So after the pleasantries with the commentary, they all go back to the commentary table. And we get Virgil and Tito Santana making their entrance to a decent reaction. So that tells me this might not be the first time these guys have tagged up before.
Yeah, Tito and Virgil, as I've said before, they've teamed up quite a bit.
Okay.
I want to say almost every single Coliseum video release, dating back to late 91, would have Tito and Virgil teaming, and more times than not against Money Incorporated.
Yeah.
So I'm very familiar with what we're probably going to be seeing.
Okay. Well, regardless, IRS comes out. He and Ted DiBiase come out. And IRS calls for the mic and goes, "Thanks to Mr. Clinton, you tax cheats are finally going to have to pay your fair share." And I suppose that was in reference to something the president was addressing at the time or something like that.
Yeah, I would assume.
Because he made it a point to get on the mic and say that, and that's all he says.
Yeah.
Moving into the match, I like that Vince keeps calling the case the Attach-A case instead of Attache case. He pronounces it really weird. There's a lot of weird pronunciation in this era of WWF. And Ted keeps laughing and pointing at Virgil as to say, "Look at where you ended up and look at where I am." And that's before anybody even locks up.
What a cheap shot.
My God.
What a cheap shot.
Oh my God. However, it was Ted and Tito who started off the match against one another. They got kind of into a shoving match as the crowd broke out in a chant. I couldn't really make out what they were saying. It sounded like Hogan. I couldn't really tell, though. The crowd definitely wanted Virgil in to take on Ted. But as soon as Virgil gets tagged in, Ted, of course, begs off into the corner to tag in IRS. And Bartlett's on commentary. He was keeping racism alive tonight with saying that Virgil and Montel Williams were the same person. You know, because the stereotypical every African American looks the same.
Yeah. Montel's bald and black and Virgil's bald.
Yeah, so they must be the same person.
Little does Bartlett know is Montel Williams has, I don't know, a goatee.
Yeah.
And it's not I don't believe as muscular as Virgil's.
So. Probably not. And then, which even surprised me more, Vince oddly agrees.
Oh, God.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, yeah, you're kind of right there. Maybe they are the same person."
Wow.
I was like, what? I thought that was mind-blowing. Anything from commentary at this time, just for you guys listening, very dated, very wouldn't fly at this time. You can tell the age with that. It's definitely breaks through the cracks. Even with all the stuff Bartlett and stuff, all that stuff. Back to the in-ring, Virgil cleans house and sent IRS to the outside, where fans eagerly grabbed at him at ringside. And he shouted at one of them, you know, without audio, but you could see his mouth, "Get your fucking hands off me, fag."
Who said that?
IRS.
Really?
Yelled it to a fan. Like, you can't hear it, but you know that's what he lipped. Like, I can read his lips, and that's what he said.
Wow,
He
I didn't
yelled
even
it at the
notice
guy.
that.
And I don't know if the guy, because the guy must have really grabbed at him and, like, pulled him. Because as soon as the camera kind of gets back down to IRS, you can tell he's pissed off. And, like, he yells at the guy and then rolls back into the ring.
Huh.
So yeah, I was like, oh,
Gotta get that heel heat.
I mean, that guy must have given him a really hard time or something. Like I said, maybe really pulled him rough or something when he got out there.
Well, he does wear like suspenders and stuff, so he might have maybe flipped it or something.
I don't know. But for IRS to yell that, I was like, oh, that wasn't good. Especially on a TV show, like on a house show, okay, I guess.
Yeah.
But that was... so we get a racist and a homophobic reference right there.
This has turned into a great episode.
Yeah. Tito then worked on a wrist lock with IRS, yawn. Virgil came in with no tag behind the ref's back a couple times during this match, which I was like, that's like a heel thing to do.
I have that noted as well. It was weird that they're using heel tactics against a heel team. And then, as I was thinking, maybe it makes a little bit of sense because Money Incorporated would do it. So they're thinking, oh, okay.
Getting a jump on them. Like, we'll do it to you before you do it to us.
Right. If we know you would do it, so we're going to do it first.
Right. I mean, I guess so. At this point, the commentators make note that they got the show catchphrase in the right order.
Yeah.
So, if nothing else, forget the racism. We got the catchphrase right.
It took them 3 months, but we got there.
Again, they were working the hell out of the arm of IRS. Quick tags and returns to the same arm hold as the crowd then begins to chant, Irwin, Irwin. Again, I think that's funny as an insult. I don't know. You're chanting the guy's name.
Well, I'm almost certain, as we mentioned in the previous episode, that people had, like commentary had even said that he doesn't like his name. He doesn't like when people chant his name.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. Would you, Austin? I feel as if you were to continually say that, you might get a little annoyed.
Well, I take it more or less like Irwin is kind of a lame name.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why he doesn't like it. He just, call me IRS. Like, if my name was Irwin, I probably wouldn't want to chant it either. But if they're chanting Austin, my name, I wouldn't be mad about that. I wouldn't be like, oh, don't say that.
Yeah, I think the whole point is that
That's
Irwin is such
a lame name.
Yeah.
Anyway, Virgil and Matador kept switching in and out of the ring, behind the ref's back, to get shots in on IRS. Savage goes, these guys are cooking. And then we got a mid-match break. I was like, what the fuck? Some of these breaks are just so poorly timed. Like last week, we put it over where it was a good spot. This, I feel like, wasn't. It was right in the middle of the match. Picking up from there, IRS was finally able to tag out to Ted, who cut off the ring immediately for Tito. And this match at this point, all headlocks, arm locks, other BS, very basic. And then after a double down with Ted and Tito, we got a hot tag to IRS and Virgil, as Virgil again came in to clean house. The tag champs resorted to Ted distracting Virgil on the outside as IRS hit him with a back suplex for the pin. And Tito chased them from the ring as they taunted their way to the back. On their way back, one of the fans pulled at Ted's neck, like really rough. And I'm surprised Ted didn't punch him out. Because Ted stumbled while he was getting pulled. Security guy barely does anything. He's right there. Barely does anything. So, watching this match, even with the IRS thing where he yells at the guy or whatever, they're letting the fans get away with quite a bit. They're able to visibly, grab them and give them the middle finger and be right on top of the wrestlers. So much so that you would never see anything like that today. So I thought, it's just weird to see that.
Yeah, I mean, I think compared to other venues, they're certainly right on top of them.
Right on top of them.
Especially at the entranceway, as we noted, people giving guys a finger right in the face.
Yeah.
When they eventually go to different arenas, I mean, there's a greater space.
Yes.
Obviously.
So I think that's dangerous. I don't know if I like that. That the fans are so easily able to pretty much do whatever they want, and with security guards barely doing anything.
Yeah, I mean, I've been watching a few independent wrestling shows, more modern day, where some companies don't even have guard railings or no barricades.
That's crazy.
Like in Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, they can just slap the mat whenever they want.
That's
as a performer, I'd be petrified.
Oh my god!
Could you imagine going especially in Pro Wrestling Guerrilla? If you're going up top,
absolutely.
A fan, if they're drunk or
shake the ropes,
trip you.
Yeah.
Who knows what they would do?
I think even at this time, if I'm a performer for the WWF, I'm not giving any chances for the New York crowd to get to me at all. So if I'm a promoter, I'm making sure there's plenty of room from that barricade and the wrestlers.
Or at
Like
least,
I would never allow that.
Or at least security guys that are doing
Are
their
on top
job.
of it. Yeah, are on top of it. I don't know. Maybe at this time they weren't really worried about that.
Yeah, I mean, different era.
Right.
Yeah.
I just visually, it's like, holy crap! The guy was grabbing Ted's neck.
You know, it's funny that you mentioned. I mean, I don't even note that.
Yeah.
Maybe after the match, I was like, okay, well, that's over.
It wasn't over. Yeah, and it was quick because it was like a really quick little thing. But
yeah, I think that's great that you pointed that out because I certainly didn't even see it.
yeah.
So basically, this match is almost what you would get on, I feel like, any Coliseum video, or at least that I've been mentioning.
Okay. Yeah.
I also noted, I didn't write in my notes, but just as you were describing it, it seems as if usually, you know, wrestlers will improve over time.
Yeah.
Virgil has progressively gotten worse.
Oh, yeah.
Throughout the match, I mean, some of the stuff he was doing was very sloppy and
Sloppy.
uncoordinated.
You know he doesn't know a lot of moves because he like continually pulls out a clothesline and a headlock, and it's like you know he doesn't know very much.
Yeah, and that alone, I mean, Virgil's been there since 87, 88.
Which is crazy.
Insane. And in 91, he was I'm going to say arguably.
Over.
Yeah, one of the top faces.
Yeah.
Certainly not like top 3,
Well,
but probably top 6 or 7.
Well, when I think back of Virgil, that's what I think of.
Yeah, my only memories with Virgil is the stuff with DiBiase.
Of course.
You know, I mean, I remember enjoying the WrestleMania 7 match, and then I think SummerSlam 91 is considerably better.
Yeah.
But like that's the best Virgil. Anything attached with DiBiase, which I think kind of
natural.
It's natural, but it's more of an indicator of DiBiase and what he was able to get out of the guy.
Exactly.
As for this match, I don't remember the last time somebody won with a back suplex.
It seems frequent at this time.
Does it?
Well, Shawn keeps winning with it.
Well, that's a teardrop suplex.
Whatever.
It's more of an angle.
It's a back suplex. Oh. I don't see that as an effective finisher at all.
It's not. Especially as wrestling evolves, it's just not. It's like losing with a clothesline.
Although with Virgil, it makes sense. Like you could probably pin Virgil with a back suplex.
Does he? Is it Virgil he pins? Oh, he does.
Yeah, because Ted distracts him.
Well, yeah, I mean Virgil would probably get pinned after like an eye poke or something.
Well, right.
I don't know why I'm ripping on Virgil so much. I was definitely a Virgil guy growing up, and as I mentioned before, I met him at a K-Mart.
Yeah, you regret that.
See, here's the thing. I don't think I told the story. I got his autograph at a K-Mart, but I didn't use a permanent marker. I got like a washable one, and I was in the car, and I was like, I wonder if I slide my thumb over it, if it goes away. I did it, and it was gone.
Oh my God.
So within 20 minutes, it was gone. But as I was thinking about it, I certainly did not have a marker with me at a Kmart for an autograph.
No, yeah.
So is Virgil signing autographs with washable marker?
Well, he doesn't want to ruin your figure.
I don't fucking care. It was red. It was a red washable marker. I'll never forget because I was sitting there. I was like, okay, cool. And I wiped it. Because I was thinking to myself, I don't want to be like I was gonna use it again. I wasn't gonna not use my Virgil because at the time when I would play with my figures, Virgil was like my top guy.
Right.
You know, he's always beating people.
Right.
And I just wiped my thumb.
Oh,
gone.
Shit.
And I'm gonna tell you right now, I was not upset.
Like, that was a cool autograph for a couple minutes, but like I don't need it there.
I was like, whatever. And I don't know why. Like, there's a lot of things I don't remember. Like, I hardly ever remember my mom's birthday or anything really significant. I pretty much forget.
You know, the important stuff.
Yeah. And but I remember at the Kmart, he was just, you know, like the lonely Virgil thing.
Yeah.
I feel as if my family had walked by and I was gravitated towards the TV. He was showing matches, but it was literally. This is going to sound ridiculous, but I'm pretty sure it was only his offensive moves from WrestleMania 8. Because I remember watching the TV that he had there, and it was just him beating up Jerry Sags.
Oh,
on a loop.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, this had to have been 94, 95, so I was like 6.
Oh, my God.
And I'm just watching it, and I was like, what the hell? This is... But no, I would have thought I would have been way more devastated that
He lost his autograph.
Yeah, but I was like, I just get to use the action figure.
Oh, thank God it wiped away. Great, perfect.
Yeah.
I think it's hilarious that you met Virgil in a K-Mart. Not even a Walmart, a K-Mart.
Yeah, and this is definitely at a time when he was not with the WWF. So
Yeah,
I don't know
94, 95, right?
I don't know how he was
got there. He just set up a table. He just came in and set up a table.
Maybe. I mean, he does that now.
Yeah.
He'll show up at the subway.
That is
charging
so
people $20
funny.
for an autograph.
That's awesome. I love it. I love it. Did you like this match, Bob?
No, I did not. And I don't know how I felt about Money Incorporated kind of having, I don't want to say trouble beating them, but they didn't soundly beat them.
They didn't get the shine.
Yeah.
I didn't like that. I mean, I thought it was a decent match, but the fact that Money Inc. didn't really get to shine in this match, they had to resort to distracting Virgil to get a move on him.
Yep.
I was like, what?
And they're in a major match against
Hogan
and Beefcake.
Yeah.
As a major angle.
Yeah.
I honestly would have thought this would be an exhibition more than a competitive match.
At least.
Largely because what the hell's Tito doing?
Right.
Nothing. And what's Virgil doing?
Yeah, right.
Nothing.
Right.
So I don't know why there was a need to maybe keep those guys strong. I don't know.
I know that's what it seemed like. I thought I liked them. I thought the match was decent. I know you didn't like it.
It's just, I mean, there's nothing that stands out to it. And back to the whole, they have a feud with Mega Maniacs or whatever.
I know.
It's as if they're trying to present Money Incorporated as a main event act through their promos and what have you. But in ring, they're not allowing that
mid-match
to
at best.
happen.
Yeah. Mid-card at best.
So I don't understand how, as a fan, I'm supposed to be emotionally invested in it.
Well, hey, that might be Vince more or less showing that he's not totally sure about their in-ring stuff. That might be a reflection of that. Maybe he's not totally sold on them in the ring, so he's relying on more so their promos and their characters to get it over. That might be exactly what that is.
Yeah. You could very well be right on that.
So, I don't know. Again, I thought all in all it was a decent match. Didn't like that Money Inc. didn't really get to shine, though, which I thought they needed at this time. I thought they needed a match where they could shine. I would have liked a squash match.
I was just going to say, why not have it just be 3 minutes?
Yeah.
If you really want, just don't have Tito really enter and just destroy Virgil.
Right.
I mean, as harsh as that sounds, what the hell is Virgil going to do for you?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Realistically. Well, we got a recap of Superstars moving on from there, from 3 weeks ago that they played with Tatanka beating Shawn with his finisher, the little drop that he does.
End of the trail Samoan drop.
I don't like calling it that.
That's what they call it.
Yeah, but that's like intolerant.
Yeah, it seems insensitive.
Like, stop bringing the Trail of Tears up.
Yeah, but it's something that Tatanka named his finisher.
I know.
What is he thinking?
What the fuck?
Yeah.
That's not good.
Yeah.
Then we got a replay of Raw from a couple weeks ago where, again, Shawn got pinned by Tatanka. Which I get it. Like, oh, he's got a couple surprise victories over Shawn. But again, I feel like they're cutting down Shawn a little bit too much. I don't know. I'm sure you loved it, Bob.
Well, the first one is fine. I don't mind. I think him winning with his finisher is good. I don't believe you need a second one.
That's what I'm saying.
Because you're already diminishing. You are definitely diminishing Michaels as a champion. Because if you're going into WrestleMania IX, your immediate mindset's going to say, well, I mean, Tatanka's already beaten him twice.
Easy. Yeah, he already beat him twice.
This should be a walk. So if Tatanka doesn't win, fans, much like myself and you, are going to think, well, what the hell?
Yeah.
You beat him on Superstars and you beat him on Raw. Why can't you beat him at WrestleMania?
Right.
And he's done so. Like, the first one was like 6 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then the 6-man tag. So I don't believe it would be insane going into Mania thinking to yourself,
we're going to get a new IC champ.
Yeah, and maybe he should beat Shawn in less than 10 minutes.
You'd think. Yeah, the way they've been building it.
I like the push of Tatanka. I don't believe
I don't think it's being unfolded right.
Yeah, I don't think they need to be doing it in the manner necessarily. No. But it's definitely a rush job.
Absolutely.
The whole Jannetty situation is causing that to have an icy
absolutely
opponent for Michaels. So,
Well, this whole recap was cut off as Rick Martel made his way down to the ring in a sailor costume. Seeing one of the Raw ring girls in the ring, he spoke into the camera. She has no class. And Bartlett goes, wasn't this guy trapped on Gilligan's Island? Like, I knew that was coming. Thanks, Bartlett.
It's too easy.
Thank you.
Just a random thought here. What about Rick Martel? So he's, I would say, kind of lost in the shuffle at this point.
Fading out.
Yeah, but you know who else is kind of fading out without having this tag team partner around? Typhoon. So why don't you have Martel and Typhoon recreate Tugboat? He's coming out as a sailor.
Oh my god.
Why don't you have Tugboat be the Tugboat guy?
Right.
You got a new tag team.
So what do you call him?
I don't know, model boats?
Oh my god. Model boats.
Model boats.
That's what they do backstage. They just build model boats.
Yeah.
That would be funny.
Or, they could have pre-tapes of Martel on a boat modeling.
Yeah.
And Tugboat could be the photographer.
He's steering the boat while Rick Martel models. Like, that would be pretty funny.
Perfect.
That'd be pretty funny.
How could you not do that? I literally just thought about that as you mentioned that he was wearing a sailor outfit.
Oh my god, that would be pretty funny.
Your new tag team champions, the model boats, Rick Martel and Tugboat. Come on. Perfect.
Oh god. Well, Rick Martel, needless to say, he kicks the Raw girl out of the ring so he can show her how to model the signboard as we went to commercial. And then it was announced up next, Tatanka in action, who, for some reason, every time I see this graphic, I just think every time... Tatanka's got one hell of a butt chin. Like, it's real deep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can... Yeah.
Real deep. And every time I see that graphic, it makes me think of that. We got another WWF Mania commercial, although this one was different. It had Todd Pettengill in it in parachute dress pants. Totally oozing 90s cheesiness here. And like I said in the last episode, I feel like Mania is being more geared towards the younger audience. Todd finished the little promo package with just brush your teeth first. Coming from old Snaggletooth himself.
Yeah.
Who's got horrible teeth. So it's just like, whatever.
I was wondering why he would go just brush your teeth first.
It's like a bad joke.
Yeah.
It's like Saturday morning, brush your teeth first. Or whatever.
Yeah, well, Todd, I'm not going to actually see you, so I'm not going to brush my teeth.
Yeah. Back from a commercial, not Todd, we're done with him. Tatanka took on Bill Apollo in Bob.
No.
Well, what's his name? I don't know who it is.
Phil Apollo, not Bill Apollo.
Oh, I thought it was Bill.
Phil.
Is this the same guy who once played Doink?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe that would be like 94, 95 Doink, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that's who I thought it was. I wasn't sure. I thought it was Bill Apollo. Sorry.
It's Phil.
Sorry.
You're thinking of Bill Alfonso.
Whatever. The guy was wicked out of shape because that's okay. Tatanka arm dragged him over the top rope to the floor. So even though he's a fat fuck, Tatanka threw his ass over the top rope, and he looked like he took one hell of a bump.
So it sounds like you're putting over Tatanka.
No, I'm putting over this jabroni.
Are you fucking kidding me? First it was Michaels. Now it's going to be Apollo.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Apollo just took a huge bump, even though he's a fat fuck.
So now you're saying, okay, there's one common trend here. Okay, Apollo and Michaels are not the same person, but the person they keep on
pretty close
is Tatanka. This is ridiculous.
Oh,
I've made you a fan of Tatanka, and you're just
I like his red hair. That's it.
I will take anything.
Do you like his loincloth? I've asked you that before. You said yes, and you play in your loincloth every time you see him.
I
as
think
Tatanka
I was misquoted.
Took on this J Brown. Sean was on the line with Vince, who must have known how to use the phone much better than Jim Duggan because he's able to hear and talk with Vince immediately. So that was a nice change of pace. There's no rigmarole with the phone. Vince asked Sean about WrestleMania, to which he said he walked up to the table and immediately rolled the dice twice and got lucky against him, talking about Tatanka. And Sean says, in Vegas, Tatanka will roll the dice for the final time, and they're going to come up snake eyes. Because Shawn Michael Shawn Michaels, he's walking in the same way he's walking out, the WWF Intercontinental Champion. I thought it was a pretty damn good promo.
Oh my God. Get the fuck out of here.
What do you mean?
Are you kidding me?
He tied in the Vegas theme.
Oh my God.
And is like, he got lucky twice. He's not going to get lucky again. You didn't like it.
No, I was thinking how long it took Michaels to think of that.
Somebody wrote that for him.
100%.
Yeah,
but no, it is not a good promo.
What?
No, if I'm at the end of it laughing, oh, come out, Snake Eyes.
I liked that.
People have won on Snake Eyes.
Well, yeah.
You can win on Snake Eyes.
Yeah, I know.
Snake Eyes is what, 2 1s?
Yeah, 2-1.
So you can technically still win.
Still, not, the typical WWF fan might not know that.
I would have said, if you roll the dice, your dice are going to roll off the table. And you're going to lose because you can't win if it rolls off the table.
That doesn't sound as cool.
It doesn't, okay? But I'm not a fucking promo guy, and neither is Shawn Michaels.
Well, that's the whole thing. That's why I'm saying for Shawn Michaels promo, even though I'm sure, again, it was written for him, he delivered it pretty good.
So corny, dude. Come on. Playing the Vegas and betting.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
I liked it.
I can't believe it. That's fun.
I can't believe you didn't like it. Come on.
Why? What does that add to the match?
Vegas.
Oh, man, I hope Tatanka can roll the dice again and win.
Well, the odds are against Shawn leading up to this match.
Which makes no sense because it should be the challenger.
It should be the challenger saying that.
Yeah.
Because he's the champion.
Yeah, but Tatanka's already won twice, so he's not going to...
Right.
So
no, in that sense.
It's weird that the heel champion is being presented as the underdog.
Yeah, right. So that I get it.
That dynamic makes very little sense.
I get that.
But no, this is stupid.
I can't believe you didn't like it.
No.
I was like, oh, Shawn delivering a good promo here.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh, damn.
I can't wait to see future promo work from various wrestlers. You'd be like, wow, man, he mentioned a chicken. That's great. I'd be like, what?
I don't know.
Banana peel. All right.
Come on.
No.
Come on. It's Shawn.
No,
It's Shawn.
No, it's Tatanka.
Whatever. Savage cuts Shawn off, and after he clarifies that this is the Macho Man talking, as if Shawn didn't know. He told Shawn that he sounded a little worried heading into WrestleMania, to which Shawn says, "You don't have to worry about that, Jack," and promised victory just as the basic match in the ring began to wrap up. Tatanka hit his finisher.
Did you not think that was great promo work? Jack?
No, because I don't like that. Well, because I feel
First of all, his name is Randy, not Jack.
And not only that, I feel like he doesn't really know what to say to Macho Man. He's just like, Jack, don't worry about it, Jack.
They didn't write that part of the promo, man.
They didn't write that part of the promo. Exactly. The match, there's really nothing to talk about. It's very basic. It's a squash match for all intents and purposes. It was more important, I think, that they were putting Shawn over a little bit, finally, giving him some airtime to talk. Even though Bob fucking hated it, I liked it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else I can say. I mean, you're right. The squash match is pretty basic. Nothing really going on.
Yeah, I didn't even have any notes on it, really.
Yeah, I just have the finisher there. But the fans, I did notice, are certainly behind Tatanka.
Huge. Yeah.
So I'm not the only one.
Whatever, Bob.
Bitch, I'll get you on there.
Is it me, or does Tatanka's taunt look like a Nazi salute?
Yeah, dude. I didn't write down in my notes, but yes.
So bad.
After the match, because he goes like this, and he puts his hand out.
Yeah.
And the way it's angled, I'm like, am I supposed to hail Hitler right now? What is going on?
It's like a Nazi sign.
100%. I did notice that.
All right, so let's recap. We get a Nazi salute, we get a homophobic reference, and a racist comment. We're off to a great start.
I almost made a reference.
Oh my God.
Like the Holocaust, and now we just did.
Oh my God. So bad.
Well, we got to move on to some positivity. So, good thing we got the WrestleMania IX report with Mean Gene.
Yep.
And he's there to talk about the tag team title match for WrestleMania, which is now being promoted as a double main event.
Oh, fucking A.
So, I also want to point out that they're making it seem as if Bret Hart Yoko is the second half of the double main, and I think he even says that.
Well, he refers to the title match as the other half of the main events.
Yes.
What? They're like, this is officially the marking where WWF is telling you Brett Yoko is taking a backseat to this match.
And it blows my mind because you would easily think Brett Yoko is the better match.
And it's
in ring.
Yeah.
Money Incorporated Mega Maniacs has the angle part to maybe get you to order it, but I would have to think.
And it's a decent, it's a hot feud.
Yeah.
But if you're the WWF, why are you not pushing your quote-unquote new generation of stars with Brett and Yoko?
I mean, I don't... The double-edged sword, I don't think you can bring back Hogan and not have him.
I think Hogan, if I'm Vince, they're the other half of the main event.
Well, 100% they should be.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what?
But the way that the whole angle's been presented on TV...
It's obvious.
I would think that that's going on last.
Yeah, it seems obvious.
Yeah.
That they don't care about the Bret Hart Yoko match.
I care. I mean, Bret Yoko hasn't gotten much play to it, but I don't know if you necessarily need to.
I don't think you need to, but at the same time, that's your WrestleMania main event. Don't give me no co-main event bullshit. There is no co-main event. It's Bret and Yoko as the main event.
Yeah, that's always the old school mentality, and
Yeah.
I totally agree with you. During this WrestleMania report, we actually hear from both Bret and Yoko.
Mm-hmm.
Bret says he's been watching Yokozuna, and he's seen him squash all the competition. He respects Yoko and what he's been able to do.
Right.
Bret knows that they don't respect him and what he's all about. And he likes the fact that he's going into WrestleMania IX as the underdog. He'll be walking out as the champion.
Did you like this promo?
No, not really.
I did.
It's just basic stuff.
It's basic.
He delivered it better than he would live.
Exactly.
But that's just the common theme of the thing. There's nothing adding to it. He's just telling us what we already know.
It's the stereotypical Bret Hart promo.
Yeah.
I liked it, though. I liked it.
Really, these promos are adding that much to you. Or for
Well,
you.
at least we're getting something out of the feud, because we haven't, on Raw, gotten much. So it's like, okay, it was nice to hear from Bret finally, our champ. I mean, he just had a pretty damn good match with Fatu.
Yeah.
But as far as promo work, we haven't seen much solid stuff from Bret thus far. So finally a promo where he ain't stumbling over his words was nice for a change.
I don't know. I guess the promo just wasn't something I'm going to fall out of my chair about. Like you just did.
What? I'm standing back up.
Roll the dice. Roll the dice and get snake eyes.
Oh, fuck you.
Get the hell out of
Fuck you.
here. We also hear from Mr. Fuji, who noticeably doesn't have any hair anymore. I don't know if that's a new thing or that's been a few weeks now, but
funny.
I just noticed that he no longer has hair.
Yeah.
Fuji thinks Bret Hart has already lost the match, but Fuji doesn't realize that WrestleMania is about 3 or 4 weeks away. So Bret has not lost the match yet. Fuji says that Yokozuna, Zuma, yes. Yokozuna will instead be walking out as the WWF World Champion.
They finished the promo here with Yoko yelling, "Bonsai!" Did you like this promo?
No, I don't. I don't care.
I didn't like it either, but how funny would it be to have Mr. Fuji on commentary? I would have paid $100 a month for the WWE Network to put on Mr. Fuji over the commentary for Raw in 1993. I think it would be absolutely hilarious.
He first of all wouldn't know how to pronounce any of the
Exactly. Then not only that, he sucks. Like I think Mr. Fuji is one of the most overrated managers of all time.
That's bullshit. He led Demolition to the tag titles.
I don't give a fuck about that.
I think that's all he's done. I don't know what else he's done.
Yeah, it's just so like
Powers of Pain. They didn't do anything.
And it's so bad here because I feel like you kind of need a pretty strong manager with Yoko. Because Yoko doesn't speak English.
Yeah, but I think the point of Yoko is the
physicality
appearance.
part of it. I mean, yeah. But, there's more dynamics that need to be filled. And I think Fuji delivers on that.
This might be a little off here, but maybe they're doing the usage of Fuji because, or at least in this way, because I feel a lot of American fans, they don't like foreigners who don't know their language.
Yeah.
And then if anybody listening to this is thinking, what the hell are you talking about, Bob? I wish what I was saying is inaccurate, but I've heard numerous times people saying, in relation to even athletes, if you don't know our language, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And it's just
right.
like, really, dude? Like,
right. Well,
that's like me going to Spain or something, or France, and not
Right.
knowing that language, and then the people there being, hey, Bob, how about you just leave?
Right. Well, if you think so,
Okay.
think of the stereotypical wrestling fan in 1993: a fat, unintelligent, redneck, probably.
So basically, any Rick Rude promo, you fat,
Yeah.
out of shape, no good
Yeah, that was
looking
a shoot.
slob.
Yeah, that's a shoot. So in that sense, yeah, they're probably thinking exactly what you just said. So I guess in the cheap heat department,
That's what I'm thinking.
it works.
That's what I'm thinking.
But if I'm the booker, I would more or less want a guy like Jim Cornette to be out here promoting Yokozuna as more elegantly than Mr. Fuji, who doesn't say anything.
Jim Cornette, you say?
Yeah.
Well, I believe in the podcasting world, they would call that a foreshadowing. Moving on.
No comment.
From there, we hear from The Undertaker and Paul Bearer. Paul Bearer says that nobody has ever done
Perpetrated. Who's ever
perpetrated
Yeah.
what Giant Gonzalez has done to The Undertaker. And Taker chimes in and says, only a few have tried to turn the hunter into the hunted. And they will all face the same fate that Gonzalez will have. And he will rest in peace.
I have to ask you.
Yes.
Do you think The Undertaker is overrated?
In reference to what?
This time period.
It depends on what you're rating him as being. What are you rating him as being?
One of the top guys, like everybody loves him.
Well, everybody does love him.
Right.
In terms of quality matches, it's not there, and he's not having good matches or anything, and that's not his fault. It's the people that are giving him to fight. So let me just go a little bit of a history here. WrestleMania 8, he had a match with Jake Roberts.
Right.
Okay, that is arguably the last opponent that he has that is remotely good.
Anybody. Yeah.
Yeah. So and then you might be thinking that's bullshit. Off the top of my head, from there he has a feud with the Berserker, where Berserker tries to stab him with a sword.
Yeah.
And they never have any kind of blow off of that feud.
Right.
I believe a minimal interaction with Papa Shango during Shango's feud with Warrior.
Mm-hmm.
Kamala.
Yep.
And let's be real, Kamala's not.
Don't even start with Kamala, Bob.
It blows my mind that you're enjoying the Kamala kimchi
I like
stuff.
Kamala.
You like Kamala kimchi, which is blowing my mind.
Well, because it's ridiculous.
Okay.
But historically, I like Kamala.
Well, historically, at this point, no thank you. And then, oddly enough, in early 93, Taker was supposed to feud with Nails.
Ugh.
Could you have imagined the train wreck on that?
Nail, thank you.
Horrible.
Yeah.
And then we go from there. So that doesn't happen. And then you have, Giant Gonzalez.
Ugh.
Okay. And that's pretty much...
Yeah, so
For most of 93, it's literally that. And then, later on in the year, there's a Yoko feud there, but what the hell?
So why do the fans like him so much?
I think, the character.
If I'm a kid, I'm seeing right through that.
If I'm a kid and I'm suspending my disbelief, I'm supposed to believe this is a dead guy.
Yeah, I don't
I'm
believe
scared.
that.
No, I'd be scared out of my fucking mind. If I'm suspending my disbelief, if I'm somebody who's supposed to think wrestling is real, and
As maybe a 5-year-old kid.
yeah. Well, let's just say in the world of entertainment,
Yeah.
For the longest time, people believed wrestling was real.
Of course.
So let's say 93, like everybody thought it was real. It's like MMA, it's
Okay.
UFC.
Yeah.
You're seeing a guy being led to the ring with a guy with an urn, and they're portraying him. They're saying this is a dead human. This is a dead man. If I'm in the front row, or if I'm in the nosebleeds, and they tell me, oh, hey, here's a dead man. 1, I'm shitting my pants. And 2, I'm running the hell away. I would not cheer for a dead man. And he's pale. Looks like he's freezing cold all the time.
Yeah.
Come on, no way.
Here's my comparison. All right, so if we're talking about the gimmick.
Same thing with Papa Shango. Are you fucking kidding me?
It's not, though. It's not, because Papa Shango, you can believe, is a dangerous voodoo shaman. Like, I could buy into that.
Oh, well, yeah. Yeah.
I can't buy into this guy's dead and a zombie and he fights. So, like, I don't even know if you can chalk it up to the character. I don't get where the draw is for Undertaker at this time. I don't get it. He's not good in the ring. He's not good on the mic. His look is basic. It's like all black attire. Like there's nothing cool about his look. He's just a big guy who's like a brawler. What's the difference between him and the Berserker?
I don't know. I mean, you're bringing up very fair points. I don't know what is attracting fans to him.
I don't get it.
But I really do think it's the presentation of him.
Like the entrance? Like
everything.
What?
The guy deserves, and I think he does get, an incredible amount of respect for his dedication to the character.
Fair enough. Because if you don't do that, you don't have a job anymore. Because if you even 75% that character, it's not coming through.
Yeah, he was committed 100,000%.
So I get that part of it. But as a fan, even as a young kid, I'm not buying into this guy's dead and fighting again. What? I personally think that Undertaker is very overrated. And I know it pisses a lot of people off because even to this day, I'm not an Undertaker fan. I've never gone out of my way to watch an Undertaker match ever.
Well, I know growing up I was not an Undertaker guy.
Yeah.
I was always a Bret. Bret was always my guy.
Well, right.
I do believe though there is a period of time where Undertaker is a good wrestler, a good entertainer.
When?
I would say it would start in 96.
I would say 97 is the only Undertaker worth watching.
No, I disagree with that. I think, so I guess we're doing like a little career retrospective here. I would say when his feud with Mankind, when we get there, that changes my opinion on him greatly. Because it's the first time that he's actually working with somebody that does stuff. That
it's
he's selling for.
Hardcore, though. That's all it is.
No, it's not. It's not hardcore wrestling.
Well, the Boiler Room Brawl, the Hell in a Cell. Like what
yeah,
other
but I'm
matches
not
are you talking
referencing that.
about?
They have the King of the Ring 96 match is good. That's not hardcore. That's a good match. There are stipulations, sure. There's the Buried Alive match, like in October. But Survivor Series 96, they have a good match.
It's all gimmick bullshit, man. I don't know. I'm
way.
not there with Undertaker.
Bret and him have a good match at SummerSlam 97.
97 is probably the only time that's worth watching.
Yeah, but you're saying that's the only time.
That's what I'm sticking by that.
There's no way.
I
would say I would agree with you that 2000 to probably 2000, 2001 Taker, not good. Biker guy, I don't like that.
I'd say 91 to 95 Undertaker's not good.
Yeah, I think there's more value in him from 91 to 95 compared to 2000.
Yeah.
2001.
Oh, no, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
And then when he turns heel in late 01 through 2002, I think he does very well for himself.
I don't know.
I would say consistently from, let's say, December 2001 until, I mean, at some point here it just all blends together, but I would say it's to the second Shawn Michaels WrestleMania match. He does far more good than bad. And it's a drastic improvement from the early days.
Yeah.
And he deserves to be would be recognized as a good in-ring performer. At this point in time, is he a good in-ring performer? No, because of the bad opponents. But he does do his moves very well. Walking the ropes, things of that nature.
Yeah.
So I think he gets a bad rap for the majority. I think it's a bad rap for a lot for the early years because of the poor opponents that were given to him.
Well, okay, so put it in this perspective. All right, so you can blame it on the opponents. Let's take a look at Bret Hart.
Okay.
You put Bret Hart in there with pretty much anybody, Bret Hart's going to get a decent match out of them. And that's because Bret Hart's a damn good wrestler. If Undertaker was such the entertainer and wrestler that he gets praised for, he'd be able to get a decent match on anybody.
I think you're missing the point here. So Bret Hart is a great wrestler.
Right.
Far superior than Undertaker would ever be.
Right.
Undertaker is, from the character entertainment, it's like the art part.
I don't know.
The draw of the Undertaker is the character of the Undertaker.
Yeah, but if that's all he's bringing to the table, I mean, it's like...
It's similar to Andre the Giant. Was Andre the Giant a good in-ring wrestler? No.
For being that size, I disagree.
He was an attraction.
Well, that's what he's known for.
Yeah, but sure, yeah. And then people are probably thinking, what are you talking about, Andre? Yes, there is a stretch there when he's doing really good things.
Right.
But if we're in reference to, let's say, the WrestleMania era.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's an attraction.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
That's what the Undertaker is. So I think Undertaker, on some level, is being presented similar to how Andre was presented. Oh, hey, let's go see this creature.
Yeah.
And then he's being portrayed as a good guy.
Right. Well, and the whole thing is you need balance on your card, right? So you got Bret Hart, who's the wrestler, and you got other guys, the tag teams. So Undertaker's fulfilling the role as your gimmick guy. And here's the dead man.
Well, I think there's two ways. So like the house shows, when there's two loops. If you notice, usually it looks like Bret's on one and Taker's on one.
Right.
So one loop might be
the entertainment
part, and then Bret's like, on the wrestling loop.
Right.
And that, because so you got two crews, and they usually go to the same towns every other month or every month.
Right.
So they cycle that through. So let's say Madison Square Garden or something. In April or March, they have Bret, and then in April they would have Taker, and so on and so forth, or any town.
Just to switch it up.
Yeah. So no, I don't think Undertaker is necessarily overrated overall, but his value in ring at this era, I don't think is warranted.
Right, it's a little bit out of proportion, I would say.
Yeah, but I don't know anybody praising him for great matches in '93 or '94 or '92 even. I don't.
I mean, yeah, that's a fair point.
It's just the character of him.
I don't know. For me, just historically as an overall, I've never been an Undertaker guy.
Well, maybe throughout the years, that will change.
We'll see.
So that'll be interesting to see
how
that goes off. That was another little tangent there. That was good.
Yeah, this episode's bringing out the best and worst of me, Bob.
So did we talk about Rick Martel coming out again and replacing the Raw Girl for a second time? Or no?
No.
Okay, so that happens next.
No.
Yeah, it does.
Papa Shango's in action.
Yeah, but Rick Martel comes out again to replace the Raw Girl for a second time, and then it's the match.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, I'm skipping right over that. I'm pulling a Bob and skipping right over
well, hey, at least you have it on there compared to when I didn't have the Steiner brothers.
Like, you completely keep that up. I'm telling Scott Steiner you did that.
Thanks, man.
I am telling him that. But yes, you were right. So the WrestleMania report ends. We get the promo from Undertaker and Paul Bearer. Rick Martel does come out again, and he kicks out another ring girl. And for this one, Savage is kind of concerned that the model is ruining the view. And even as like this ring girl makes her way out, you basically saw right up her shorts. And Savage just goes, "Look at this. Things are looking up." And it's like, yeah, because you're looking up, basically seeing her bare ass.
Yeah, that was the point.
So I love that Savage is portraying the like ladies man, and he like loves to love the ladies. Because I'm sure he did that. Like, I'm sure he was a womanizer after Elizabeth. And how could you not be? You're the Macho Man. You know what I mean?
And I would have to think he's probably scoring these girls.
Oh,
he's
my
definitely
God. Absolutely.
If he wanted to, I'm sure he could.
Absolutely.
So that brings us to our third match of the night. Mm-hmm. And it is arguably one of my favorite characters of this era. It's Papa Shango. This is his Raw debut.
Right.
Shockingly. Of course, he's been there for well over a year at this point. Mm-hmm. He's taking on a man by the name of Mike Edwards.
Right.
And there's no this would futures turn into whoever. It's just Mike Edwards.
Okay.
Shango could have won the match pretty quickly with a back suplex.
A couple of times.
Yeah, but he kept on pulling Edwards up.
Yep.
And it would just rake his eyes or whatever. And I don't really have much notes on this. Shango wins with an over-the-shoulder shoulder breaker.
Yeah,
which I like.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have too many notes on it either. I did notice, like, with the skull, he got several shrieks with that smoking skull that he walked out with. Oh, yeah. Visual-wise, Papa Shango is awesome. He looked very rough on Mike Edwards, like a lot of rough offense. Maybe not protecting him as much as he could have here.
I think that's been a known complaint for him.
Yeah. Wicked hairy. This Mike Edwards guy, and even the commentary table kind of makes fun of that. But yeah, he's just very hairy. Regardless, Sean goes a lot of slams, strikes, pretty solid Raw debut, and that he hit a big backdrop, and then that, like you said, the shoulder breaker looked nasty. Like that looked like it hurt.
Yeah.
So right here, seeing Papa Shango, maybe if this is the first time I'm seeing him, which it's not, I'd be like, oh shit, now who's this guy? Right. You know what I mean? Like now this guy could be a potential contender at some point.
Yeah, I thought he was presented pretty well.
Very effective.
I did notice at least that Shango was looking a little bit out of shape.
Yeah, he's getting kind of blown up a little bit. Yeah.
So that was kind of disappointing. Safe to say, though, this is kind of towards the end.
On his way out.
Of the Shango run.
Yeah.
From there, we get another ICOPro ad with Bret Hart.
Bret Hart, in this same promo we've gotten weeks and weeks and weeks, he says the whole thing without taking a breath. Like, he just rattles through it.
Well, maybe if he takes a breath, he'll fuck it up. So he's thinking, I'll just say it all.
Well, and like we said, I'm sure that was take number 40.
Right.
So it's just funny.
Almost certain about it.
Yeah.
And then, as per usual, seemingly every episode is just the same design for commercials.
Yep.
We get the WWF figures ad, which still has British Bulldog in it. Mm-hmm. You would think at some point they would maybe
just cut that out,
take him out of it or something. But moving on from there, we have our fourth match of the evening. It is Bob Backlund, who gets a pretty good reception from the crowd.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of makes sense. He was world champion there for a number of years.
Right.
And he's taking on a relatively young-looking Tony DeMoro, who's clearly focusing a lot on his upper body when he's in the gym.
The guy looks jacked. Absolutely jacked. And I'll tell you what, if I'm Vince, I would be inclined to sign this guy on looks alone.
Well, it's weird because I don't normally pay attention to jobbers. I shouldn't say that. Enhancement guys.
Yeah.
I'm almost certain that Tony DeMoro makes several more appearances, and his arms get to a level of like Scott Steiner.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
To a point where you don't even know if he knows what leg day is.
Oh boy.
I'm pretty sure this is the guy.
Well, here he looked pretty filled out everywhere. Like he was pretty jacked all around.
Yeah, but there comes a point where he must have thought Vince wants a body.
All body.
And he clearly is using some kind of enhancement.
Oh, sure.
100%. Because I'm almost certain it becomes very noticeable.
Yeah.
On commentary, they make sure to comment that Backlund's making a comeback at the age of 43.
Yeah.
I didn't realize Backlund was that old.
I feel like you can tell. Bartlett goes to, like, before the match started, Backlund put out his hand for a handshake. To which DeMoro, kind of didn't accept it or whatever. And Bartlett just goes, "Oh, shake his hand, you pant load." So he basically calls him a pile of shit.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like, it's the enhancement guy, but still, you're not doing the in-ring product any favor.
Right.
By calling somebody a pant load. But they started off with kind of an amateurish style struggle. Bob getting the better of it, of course.
And the crowd noticeably loved it.
Huge over Backlund. And basically the offense here is just made out to make the bigger man in DeMoro look foolish. Like Bob Backlund is able to cut him off at every pass kind of thing. And again, I noticed on commentary that they were getting ready for Bartlett to head to the back to interview the model. So there's really not too much focus on the match. Again, it's Bob Backlund. There's no real direction, it seems like, for him. They're just trying to get him on the show.
Yeah, I mean, so Bob wins the match with an overhead double underhook suplex, but then rolls up DeMoro in an interesting fashion.
It was bizarre looking, yeah.
So I liked Backlund at the Rumble.
Right.
Guy got over with me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think this style of wrestling is going to get over with me.
Thank you.
Listen,
Thank you.
I wanted to believe.
It's just outdated. Like it doesn't.
Yeah, well,
transfer
this is his first match on Raw, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, so both instances that I've seen,
Well,
Backlund was in Battle Royal.
Yeah, he was in the Battle Royal.
Yeah, so this is his first singles match. So both instances in which I've seen Backlund so far in '93,
right,
was at the Royal Rumble and then in a 16-man Battle Royal. So not in a singles match.
Kind of hiding his flaws maybe a little bit.
Yeah, lack of maybe energizing
spotlight.
Offense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, this I didn't really care about it.
I liked Demoro.
Well, Demoro's a body, I guess.
Compared to some of the enhancement guys we've seen.
Oh, sure.
I liked him.
He comes across more like a guy who's putting in effort.
Well, and he for some reason, I don't know if it was look-wise or what, but he reminds me of Antonio Thomas, who's like a local guy here.
Okay.
I don't know. That's kind of what I got off of him. Kind of a local... Like, you could believe he was maybe on a local indie show. To where somebody like... Who was just in the last one? Mike Edwards. Like, I would have a hard time believing he's booked on an indie show.
No, yeah, I
you know what I'm saying?
Get that. Yeah, and if anybody doesn't understand or know the reference of Antonio Thomas, he would wrestle in the WWE in 2005 as one half of the Heartthrobs. Mm-hmm. And he was a local wrestler.
Yeah.
He at least wrestled for a local company here in Syracuse.
Right.
So he was pretty enjoyable. But back to the Backlund match, I thought it was kind of interesting that they were focusing or giving the focus to Backlund as having the speed advantage when he's 43 years old compared to Demoro, who was no way over the age of like 23.
Yeah.
That was an interesting approach.
I agree.
Yeah, so I don't really have anything coming out of that for Backlund.
Nope.
I don't think I would want to see Backlund Hart now at WrestleMania.
Thank you, Bob.
I wanted to.
You're
believe.
Coming to your senses. Thank you.
Yeah, well, you'll come to your senses about Tatanka, Crush, and Lex Luger.
Anyway.
So backstage, Rob Bartlett meets up with Rick Martel, and Martel insults Bartlett by saying that Bartlett has no class. Mm-hmm. He wanted to show the Raw girls how to have class. That's why he kept on interrupting them.
Right.
And Martel is just saying that nobody has any class whatsoever. Like anybody.
In the Manhattan Center itself.
Right. In New York. In the world.
Yeah.
And tonight he's going to show Mr. Perfect that Rick Martel is the best wrestler. And all I got from this was that Martel loves saying the word class.
That's what the whole promo was centered around. I mean, he did spit out a good line when he was asked about Mr. Perfect, which he says, perfection is boring. That kind of was like, okay. But,
wait a minute. Hang on a minute. So he's saying that perfection's boring?
Yeah.
Isn't Martel the perfect model?
Yeah.
So he's calling himself boring?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought, so again, I'm going to do a rare occurrence where I put Bartlett over a little bit. If they gave Bartlett an interviewer role backstage, I think he'd knock it out of the park.
Well, first off, he'd be very limited.
Exactly.
It'd be maybe a minute and a half of
exactly.
airtime. So yeah, that'd be okay.
So I thought he did a really good job here of interviewing Martel, not making it about him, but making it about Martel. So that was nice for a change. I also noted here that so as much as he did a decent job, he ended it with, what did he say? He made fun of his hat. Yeah, Bartlett closed the interview with sending us to commercial by exclaiming to Martel, "Nice hat," to make fun of it. So it's like, he's still trying to get himself over a little bit,
That's just the comedic.
Yeah, and
the comedic side of him.
And he starts off the interview with "What's your deal, man?" That's what he says to Rick Martel.
Yeah.
So there's some bullshit in there still, but I also noticed, and this is, I'm sure you probably saw this too. It looks like for Martel that the top front row of his teeth are false compared to the rest of his mouth, because the rest of the teeth in his mouth are very yellow and not good looking.
I did not notice that.
Really?
Yeah.
Ah.
And probably the only reason why I didn't really take note of it was because this interview did not grab my attention, in large part because it's the same promo that Martel's been saying for a year and a half.
Really? The class thing?
Oh my God.
See, yeah.
Because I've been referencing a lot about WrestleMania 8 today in this episode.
Yeah.
And because I remember that he fought Tatanka, and I feel like there was a promo on there where he constantly said, "Tatanka, you have no class. You have no style."
Well, he said it here at least 20 times on this episode of Raw.
Right.
So it's you can tell he doesn't have much promo material.
It's I think it's a limited character.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, I would not be devastated if Martel wasn't featured on Raw moving forward. I don't know why. I mean, Martel's, as we get to the match here in a couple minutes here, but
I'm surprised that you're. So, would you classify yourself as a Rick Martel fan?
I want to say no.
I'm surprised about that.
Like, well, let me clarify. Like a Rick the Model Martel?
Yes.
Probably not. I enjoyed the model character when it was first a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, like his feud with Roberts and stuff like that was
the
pretty,
arrogance and all that.
Yeah, that was a good angle.
They
just failed, I think, to advance him after that.
Yeah. Well, you can tell they kind of just cruised with that for like the remainder of the model thing. But
yeah. I
feel like, especially nowadays, people really put him over for being something special. And I don't see it. Like, I'm not a Rick Martel fan by any means. I think he's another guy who's kind of fondly remembered, and I don't understand.
Have you watched a lot of his AWA stuff?
No.
Okay, so that might be why. Because I haven't either.
Okay.
But
I see.
You might have, because I mean, I don't know. They always wrestle a different style in the smaller companies.
Of course.
So you'll see more of their actual talent instead of hiding behind a character.
Yeah. I don't know. So I'm surprised. I thought we were going to clash on that a lot, actually.
No, I mean, I don't think. Yeah, I mean, at least at this point, I'm not a big Martel guy. I know when he goes to WCW 5 years later for 2 or 3 months, he has a pretty good run before he blows out his knee. But
right,
I would say at this point, no, I wasn't a big fan.
All right. Well, it's finally time for the main event. Martel came out, and you could tell the crowd was sick of seeing him at this point. They've seen him all night. Perfect was out second. Obviously, still one of the fan favorite guys in the company. Over huge. Good for him. You know, that's good. Savage says that he's backing Perfect all the way because he was his Survivor Series partner and was there when he needed him. And I like the continuation. I like that. So that was cool to start it off. It was a pretty quick-paced match. Nice change from the rest of the matches tonight.
Well, you're missing something.
What did I miss?
Vince McMahon on commentary
Uh-oh.
before the match happened really puts over Perfect Luger match as being one of the greatest matches to ever happen at WrestleMania.
What?
He's predicting that it will be, at least.
Oh, God. How did I miss that?
Yeah, and I don't know how...
We haven't even seen anything from them yet. What are you talking about?
I would not even know they're feuding before you said that.
God.
I would have no idea.
See, yeah, I didn't even catch that.
Yeah, but go ahead about
That's ridiculous. But yeah, quick pace here, some quick sequences and basic openers. I hate Rick Martel's long boot strings that he has that like hang from his boots.
Something to go like flying around.
Well, yeah, and it's like I'm waiting for him to trip on those. I don't know. He gets the upper hand and like cartwheels away from an attempted offense at one point. Perfect of course returns the favor. Cartwheels reversal of his own. Then Bartlett goes, "What's the next event? Baton twirling?" It was like cartwheels and a lot of BS for this match. Although Martel did hit a solid knee to Perfect's face, right to his face, to continue his momentum. And after getting out of an arm wrench, Perfect sent the model crashing to the floor on the outside. We got a mid-match commercial, just as Bartlett claimed to be being taken over by the spirit of Elvis. And I was like, oh, fuck.
So this must have been, because I think earlier I noted that he was switching back to Elvis. I don't know if he did earlier.
He was like, cutting in and out. And he's like, oh, I'm being taken over by the spirit again, Vince.
Yeah, this is just an example of him wanting to put the focus back on himself.
Exactly. It's like he realizes he gets the promo in the back, like the interview. And he's like, all right, I'm going to keep the ball rolling here.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, fuck. When we get back from commercial, at this point, I noticed that Martel's skin looks really leathery.
Yeah.
From all that Cocoa Beach sun, must be. I don't know. While in a chin lock, Vince asked Bartlett what his impression was of the model here. To which Bartlett says, he's riding him like a pony. Savage laughed and said that that's the last time you'll ask him for an impression. Because it's like, really? That's what you got out of it? He's riding him like a pony? It was just like, Just shut up.
Yeah.
Just shut up. And even Savage is probably like, just shut up. Don't ask him any more things.
Right.
Again, Perfect quickly built ahead of steam with some good comeback offense, including whips to the turnbuckle, a back body drop, and some loud chops in the corner. He topped it off with his signature knee lift, and we went to another commercial.
This is the first time there was two commercials.
Two commercials. And then we come back. Perfect is exiting to his ring music, and we've missed the finish. Are you fucking kidding me?
Okay, so I'm mixed on this. Number one, I hate it.
Yeah.
Because you don't tune... Like,
we get the cartwheel spot, but we miss the finish.
How do you miss the finish? But then two, it makes sense because the match could end whenever.
Yeah.
So I understand that. But I hate it.
Yeah, I hate it. I hate it. Because it makes us like, oh, we missed out on something. Of course, we get the replay where he was able to hit the perfect plex. Still, though, what? It's the main event?
It's one of the rare times that's ever happened, I think.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
I don't remember.
I didn't like it.
I don't remember the last time a match has ended during the commercial. And what blows my mind is you can't sit there and say, well, maybe they were running out of time. It's a taped fucking show.
And not only that, there's still quite a bit of time after this match.
Right.
Which
So
we'll get to,
it was a deliberate
way
of being, oh, hey, you never know when these matches will end.
Right.
So I get the point of it, but I did not like it.
Yeah, with a perfect match, the main event, why wouldn't you do that with, say, I don't know, a different match where it doesn't mean as much? You know?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I really liked this.
I didn't either.
Pretty boring.
Yeah.
Martel's not really doing much for me. And I don't feel as if I'm invested much in Mr. Perfect.
They're not playing to his strengths. His strengths are enhancing the guys he's in the ring with. And a guy like Rick Martel isn't going to do Mr. Perfect any favors. I don't think.
Well, I just think Mr. Perfect's better suited as a heel.
Oh, of course. Of course.
I mean, and I think it's a drastic...
It's a stretch.
Level. Yeah.
It's a stretch.
I mean, him as a face doesn't make much sense to me. The whole Mr. Perfect thing is he's so conceited.
I know.
So it's just a weird dynamic
I agree.
there. After the match, Mr. Perfect brings the Raw Ring girls, both of them, back into the ring since Martel was a jerk earlier. And they kind of go around modeling whatever.
Savage was hoping that his old partner would give the Madness one of them. He was hoping Perfect would kick back one of the ladies.
Macho needs to get laid, I think, is what
Seriously,
we're gathering.
That's all he's talking about.
Macho Man wants to go in Raw.
Yeah.
Dig it.
Uncut.
Yeah. Uncensored. So from there, I believe they promote what is going to be on next week, and that will feature Kamala. He'll be in singles action, as will Razor Ramon, which is interesting considering he just had knee surgery.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the featured match is being advertised. I want to note, advertised as being Typhoon against Bam Bam Bigelow.
Lucky us.
And I want to point out that next week's show, which is March 15th, will not be taking place at the Manhattan Center.
Really?
Yes. So this is the first time that we're venturing away from the Manhattan Center.
Oh, that scares me.
And instead we'll be at the Mid-Hudson Civic Center in Poughkeepsie, New York. So we're still in New York, but it's a bigger arena.
Really?
Yep. So it'll be the first time we leave there.
Why? Is there a reason for that? Or
I don't know. I don't know if there is a reason for it. But I know that afterwards, I believe, the majority of them are back at the Manhattan Center for quite a bit. But I know they switch off and on.
Well, that might help for
I think
a change
for almost the rest of the year. So.
Yeah, for a change of scenery, that might help. That's weird, though.
Yeah,
because we're only 8 episodes in.
Yeah, I'll be interested, though, to see how... I mean, I know it's still New York, but...
Like the reactions.
Yeah, to various characters. I mean, in Poughkeepsie, they might not be as smart as the Manhattan guys will be, or are. So.
Right.
As for this week's episode, though, I was pretty disappointed by what was going on. Usually when there's two feature matches, you know, we had Money Incorporated against Virgil and Tito, and then Perfect Martel, you would think, okay, well, this will be a pretty
decent
good show.
Yeah.
And I didn't. I thought it was pretty lackluster. I've noticed, though, it seems as if one week they focus a lot on younger talents.
Yes.
And then the next week it's back to older guys.
Yes.
So it's an interesting thing to focus on moving forward. And I find myself for sure preferring the episodes where the younger guys are focused. So as we transition away from the older guys, maybe Raw will be more consistent.
I think so, and I have to tend to agree with you for this episode. I thought it was decent. I didn't overly like it. I would probably skip over this episode if I was watching through again. I thought the main event was okay. I did not like the finish being off camera. And I was also not happy to see no Sean again this week. I feel like Sean hasn't been on in a while.
So I have information about that, similar to when I was listening to the Bruce Pritchard podcast.
Okay.
And it was a Shawn Michaels episode. And apparently Michaels had separated his shoulder weeks prior to the WrestleMania match. So he had to take off a few weeks. So that's why he's not actively competing on Raw or anything of that nature.
I mean, I guess that makes sense. I just feel like he could really use a rebound match after like all the losses have been highlighted lately. So I was kind of bummed out there.
I think he needs to have an interaction with Tatanka. The whole point of the feud there is that Tatanka beat him twice.
Right. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I think like with Sean, he could use like a run in or to get the upper hand a little bit on Tatanka. Because right now Sean has no momentum.
Well, I mean, I would even have Sean maybe just attack Tatanka during an entrance.
Yeah, sure.
Club him with the belt from behind.
Why not?
Tatanka runs around the crowd. What if Shawn Michaels was dressed up as a fan, right, in the front row? And Tatanka's going around doing his tomahawk chop, and Michaels just decks him.
Or like clotheslines him, throws an arm out and clotheslines him. That would have been cool.
Now, sure, that could lead to maybe fans wanting to do that in the future. So maybe a bad message.
Yeah, that's not a good idea.
Whoops. Especially in Manhattan where they're just giving the finger
and
right to
grabbing Ted DiBiase and
an IRS.
making IRS yell shit at him.
Yeah. So maybe,
I guess
that's
so.
a dangerous thing to do, but...
Well, they could use something like that in Sean's favor because, again, I feel like he has no momentum.
No momentum, yeah. He's certainly being, in a fan's eyes, presented as the underdog against Tatanka.
Absolutely. And as a heel, I don't like that.
Yeah.
Money Inc. didn't get the best showing this week.
No.
However, guys like Papa Shango, Mr. Perfect, came off looking pretty good on the road to WrestleMania. Not that, Shango has too much direction, but still looking decent heading that way. I think a lot of the matches relied too heavily on the basics, which I'm getting kind of tired of. But I understand it's television wrestling, but I feel like we're not getting, other than the Bret Hart Fatu match, as of late, a lot of the matches are missable. Like, you're not really missing anything if you skipped over them, which I don't like.
Well, I mean, some of the squash matches I feel have that, but but it's definitely younger talents, like I've been mentioning. So Steiner Brothers,
right?
That's something. Yokozuna,
right?
Crush,
right?
Guys, Tatanka, even some
not him.
Come on.
My like hype for WrestleMania.
Bam Bam Bigelow too. He had a good one with Scott Taylor.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
So there are a few, but mostly when it's
like
older
a lot
guys.
Of basic stuff.
Yeah.
Again, my hype for WrestleMania, it's building a lot slower than I would have anticipated. I don't know.
Just because, I mean, we've mentioned it before. They're not building on anything. And it's as if they're just guaranteeing that you'll remember what happened 2 months ago.
Right. So. And kind of coasting through.
Yeah, and on some level, I'm thinking maybe they're doing it as a way, keeping them apart will have people be interested to finally see it
when they
transpire.
finally get together. Yeah,
but it's, when you have months between, I mean, I like it. I like when there's a long period of time before something like that happens. But you have to insert an angle or promos or just interaction in general. We haven't had anything between Yoko and Bret, and we're 4 weeks away from WrestleMania.
Here's where I'm at. Right, so
3 weeks away. I was right. 3.
I think personally, the Yoko Bret situation works. The fact that they're being kept kind of separated.
Well, there hasn't even been like a contract signing or anything.
Well, that would help. Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah. But comparatively to say Perfect and Luger, there's nothing, and it's not helping. To whereas Bret and Yoko, I think that is ramping up. Like, you want to see those guys square off. Perfect and Lex, it's like, I could care less, because if you guys don't care about it, promoting it, and having something happen, then I don't care about it. You telling me to care isn't going to make me care.
And then having them not interact with each other is
At
making
all.
it seem like as if they don't even care.
Exactly.
So, like, Perfect doesn't care about Luger, and Luger doesn't care about Perfect.
Exactly. So,
Heenan doesn't even care about Perfect, and he's the one that set it up back in January.
Exactly. And I feel like that's happening with a lot of these feuds. It's like they're taking their foot off the gas too much. Too much.
Yeah, there's definitely... Even Gonzalez Taker. I mean, Taker's
barely
mentioned
anything.
him, but like we haven't seen
Barely
Gonzalez.
anything.
We saw Gonzalez once.
Yeah.
So I think we can agree that most of the angles are strong when they first occur.
Yes.
And there's no progression.
Bare bones.
Yeah. And then it's as if they're kind of banking on, well, they'll produce a good match.
Which is a pretty far stretch for a lot of these matches. Like, going on that gamble, like, I don't know.
Well, I think... So, like, Steiners and Head Shrinkers, which was just announced, that could be good.
Yeah, you can bank on that. Probably decent match.
Brett Yoko could be...
Decent match.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, Money Inc. and Mega Maniacs is definitely angle-driven.
Yeah.
So that's where all the heat is.
Right.
Tatanka Sean could be... if it's kept at a reasonable length, could be pretty solid.
Yeah, I guess. Even though Sean's got no momentum.
Yeah, and then Crush Doink. I mean, that's another heavily angle. I feel like it's not.
Yeah, but I don't have too much expectation.
Right.
At this point, we've seen nothing between.
And I don't
again.
think Luger Perfect going into it. You would think it's going to be a classic. I mean, Luger didn't have great matches in WCW. I mean, sure, with Flair he did.
Right.
But that's Flair.
Right.
Who's bumping like a machine for the guy.
Exactly.
Not to say Perfect wouldn't bump for him, but...
But in this instance, I feel like that's a match that needs to be angle-driven, and there's nothing.
Right.
There's nothing.
It's just, you're not Mr. Perfect, I'm Mr. Perfect.
I'll show you perfection.
Because I have a great body.
It's like, what?
Yeah, that's just...
I don't know. I'm having a hard time getting to Vegas with some excitement. It's like, I want to be excited for some of the matches, and then it's like half and half. Whether they're angle or in-ring driven, and then some are like, you could take them off the card, and I wouldn't even think twice about it.
Well, here's the thing. I feel like when the build for Mania started, we were both acting, sure.
This is, yeah.
And then as you see, we get closer to the show, it's like, well, nothing's going on.
Because they're telling us rather than showing us.
Yeah, they're predicting that will be a good match rather than showing us how it will be one.
Exactly.
This is a heated rivalry, but how do we know that?
Exactly.
So I just want to point out the schedule here for the next couple of shows. So as mentioned, we have the March 15th show for Poughkeepsie, which will be a live show. And then the Raw from March 22nd in Manhattan, New York at the Manhattan Center. That's also live.
Oh, 2 back-to-backs.
Yeah, which was interesting when I saw it, when I looked it up. I was like, wow.
Yeah, nice.
So I'm behind that. And then we have a kind of, I guess, a special one. The week before WrestleMania IX is the WWF had a March to WrestleMania IX special, which took place, it was aired on March 28th, which was a Sunday. And obviously that's a tape show.
Right.
So we're going to be actually watching that one instead of the March 29th show. I'm sure we'll remind you of that. So if you're looking through the archives, when we get there, you're not going to... Where's the March 29th one? No. There will not be a March 29th Raw. We'll just be looking at the March 28th, March to WrestleMania IX.
The full show, instead of the clipped Raw where they
Right, because on March 29th, it was just an hour clip show, and this March to WrestleMania IX was a 2-hour show.
Right.
So I believe the copy that we have is the abbreviated hour and a half without the commercials and stuff like that. So it'll be easy to get through.
Cool.
And then closing out this little schedule here would be WrestleMania IX, which will be on April 4th, 1993. So just to give you a little preview of what's coming up, I might be doing that foreseeable future, I guess, to kind of show us what we got going on.
Sure.
So, all right. So you got anything else for this episode there, Austin?
You know what? I have hopes of the next 4 things we'll be watching. Those things you just listed off.
I'm intrigued about the March to WrestleMania IX.
Yeah, me too.
Just kind of see what they put on there.
As far as this episode, again, it's like seesaw with Raw. One week it's really up and really good. One week it's down and not so great. So that's kind of getting a little bit of motion sickness there with that. I'd say this is a down week compared to last week. Even though there was a lot of stuff that we had to talk about this week, and we kind of went on a couple tangents.
Yeah, this is kind of a longer episode, but
yeah.
Whatever comes up, I guess.
Right. And again, I have hope moving forward. They haven't broken me yet.
Yet.
Yeah.
I mean, if it hasn't broken you yet, I think that...
doing pretty good.
Yeah, but I think the second half of Raw or WWF 93 is a vast improvement compared to the first half. So if you're surviving to right now, by the time we get to the mid-year of June and July,
Summer,
yeah, I think you're gonna greatly enjoy it.
Awesome.
More so than now. I know I will. I think like the second half of 93 is something that I remember fondly enjoying.
Well, I'd say 94 is probably your favorite year. No?
Well, 92.
Of course.
Of this era.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like maybe the first quarter of 94.
You liked it a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, and then kind of takes a dip.
For the whole wrestling business.
Yeah, but that takes a dip for me probably till mid 96 from there, maybe.
We'll pretend that it's not the case. Yeah.
We'll see. All right. Well, I think that wraps up episode 8 here. As always, you can send us comments, feedback, concern, hate mail, death threats, whichever, to the ICOPOD Facebook page. Don't know if I should have that on Facebook page. That's okay. Or you can send it over to icopodcast@gmail.com. If you have any opinions on what was being presented maybe during that era that you watched live and you want to send in your feedback to us and we'll read on the air and discuss it, whatever, you're more than welcome to, and we'll do that. So from there, I guess you've been listening to ICOPOD.
You gotta hear it.